Hello everyone, uh, I am Mesh and I am Senior Test Automation Architect with 14 plus years of experience in the field of software test automation. I worked on different technologies like Java, C Sharp, Python, R language. Also worked on different types of test automation as well, like Selenium, then Selenium with BTD, then REST Assured, then mobile automation, then load and performance testing. Also, I work with R&D department with one of the Fortune 500 organization, and I have one patent on my name and another in queue. Uh, Apart from this, from the social side, I help near about 2,000 plus peoples in the field of to learn the test automation. Also, more than 1,000 plus people they got an opportunity. Get settled in test automation field. Then near about some of the people uh, they are just started helping others as well. Now, I love coding. From my education background, I did my engineering and I did my MBA in international business as well as in IT. Now, what today I'm going to show you is today the topic is very interesting. Today I'm going to show you the web table. So most of the time, we heard that the system or the application that is having web table or data table. Now, web tables or data table are often used in scenarios where you need to display the information in the tabular format. That means some of the search operations, some of the data, some of the financial transaction, all those things we can sometimes we can see in the tabular format. And the data being displayed can either be a static or the dynamic in nature. Okay. Now we can see so many sites like your banking site also. Once you click on your account summary or account details or mini statements, you can see all those things into the table. Okay. Now we can mention some of the product specification also in the web table. Now web table in a Selenium is a web element. When we talked about a web table, it is nothing but a Selenium. Now when we said how we can manage this web table, so we treat any of this component like any of the web objects or web things that those are considered as a web element. And there are the way like I'm not talking about a single web element. We can see already some of the web elements like text boxes, radio buttons, check boxes, drop down menus. Okay, all those things we already saw. Now, when we talked about a web table, it has some functions, and where we can see some of the things are statically we can place at one place, and we can see some of the data are dynamically changed regularly, and always your web table are holding some of the rows and columns. So, and in this rows and columns only the operations needs to be performed. Now, a table consists of rows and columns. The table created for the web page is called always a web table. Now, there are different important tags, those are associated with the web table. So, the tags like a table. So, I can write one by one. Let me create the first. We can create a new class so that I can show you all the implementation. Just give me a second. So I'm going to create today a new class that is a web table, and I say let's say public static void main. We can run it from static as well as non-static both today. So I'll just explain you what exactly I'm talking about. Okay. So let's see. I said there are multiple tags in the web table. So the first tag we can consider as your table. When we say table, so table is a tag which is again nothing but your HTML table. Okay, this holds or this can say as an your HTML table. Now the second one is your th. Okay, when we say th, this th is nothing but your header information. So this is your th, which is nothing but your header information within your table. I can simply hide header information in table. Then we have your tr. Okay, when we say tr, so tr mentions your row in a table. Okay, so I'll writing in a bit short. Now when we said th, now th is sorry, I already write th. Now td, so td is nothing but a column in a table. So these are the basic some of the tags. Those are used in any of the web table. Now what I'll do, we can go one by one step. We can just see how to manage this web table. I'll just show you some of the site where we can see that. Okay, so I'll go, just let me go back to the web. I can go back here. I'll go back today to one of the site that always you use, that is a Rediff. Okay, I'll say rediff.com. Okay, I can see in the Rediff, we can see here money. Once I click on money, I can see all the detailed information of the money. Okay, now I'll go down here and I wanted to see some of the table. So let's say most traded companies, and I can simply click on this more. So where I can see, okay, so I can see here all the detailed information. So these are nothing but a most traded companies I can see. Now in this most traded companies, I'll go one by one step here. So sorry. So now let me walk through with this. I just simply do the inspect here. If you can see, once I inspect, I can see here one tag, that is a table tag. If you can see here, I can see a one tag, that is a table as a tag here. Okay, so I can just minimize this, so that if I highlight this, you can see my whole table is highlighted. Once I go back on this table, my whole table is highlighted. Okay, now I do have, there are some the companies, those are listed for today's most traded companies, and I wanted to see how many are there. So let's see, there are 100, 150, what are the rows, all those data we can see. Okay, now I'll go back here and how to identify. You cannot see here ID, you cannot see here name, you cannot see here link text, you cannot see here partial link text and the tags, and by that way you can identify either. So though I can just copy this data table, I'll just go to the console, I just clear this, I will write here my $X. I said I wanted to write my own XPath. I said let's say star, and I said @class equals, I said this one. Let's see what it identify. If you can see, it identify a single web element. If you can see, it identify a single web element. So single web element is your table. Okay, so once I highlighted this table.data table, you can see this is highlighted. So that means I am getting this data table here, and once I get the data table, then I can do, or I can start my execution. So currently what I can do is, I'll simply take this as an URL. I'll go back, I'll start writing. Better I can today write a separate functions. Okay, so that we can just access. So public static void, I can say Rediff table. Okay, I'll just mention here because I'm going to show you some JavaScript table also. So bear some time with me today. I'm going to show you how to handle the JavaScript table as well. Okay, those are very important because in interview most of the people, they may ask you the question on the Java web table as well. Okay, so sorry, JavaScript web table as well. So let's go back here. I'll say Rediff table. Now the Rediff table, I'll start with my basic script. I'll just copy paste this so that I can get the information. Okay, I don't want to waste time here. Okay, so I do have this system.set property. Then I do have this web driver equals a new Chrome driver. Okay, Now what I'll do, I'll simply write driver.get and I simply give here the URL. Oh, sorry. So I'll simply give here this URL and I can say I simply pass this URL here and I simply wanted to try first whether this is executing correctly and whether this is opening the URL. And before that I'll simply write whether I'm getting my web table also. Driver dot find element by dot XPath and I said what is XPath we had written here, so let's take that XPath. I'll simply copy this XPath from here and I mentioned that XPath over here. Okay, so I said driver dot find element my XPath. I said web element. I said a web element table, for example. Okay, now I do have that web element table and I simply said here if this table dot is displayed, if that displayed, then I print, simply I print my table is ready to test. Okay, or my web table, I said my web table is ready to test. Okay, now let's execute this. Before execution, what we need to do, we need to just call that static method here. I'll simply call within my main method. Now I simply right click, run as, and my Java application. So this application, this should open a Reddit table. Once it opens a Reddit page, and then it should identify your table and it should just print that it is identified in the page. So let's see if that works. Yes, my web table is ready to test. So that means we can just identify this web table at runtime. And now we can start our one by one a step to identify and do some of the operations on the web table. So this is how I have just simply connecting on my web table first, and now I can start my web table further jobs. So now I can go back to the page where I was identifying that. Now once I just open that, if you can see there are multiple TD, TR and all those rows are available. Okay, so what I can do, I can either write T body. So what is T body? T body is this. If you can see this T head, I mentioned that is TH is your head information. Okay, where I said T body is your body holding by your detail information which is required to you. Now I simply need, if I can, okay, I'll show you two things here. Okay, so see, if I write without TR, that means if I can write here, if I wanted to write further XPath on this, okay, if I wanted to identify my further XPath to identify how many rows are there, okay, how many rows are there. So what I'll do, I'll simply write and here TR. So if you can see here what happened, I am getting total number here. So how much number I am getting? How much number I am getting? I am getting 101. Why 101? Probably there may be a T header. That means this table header also considered within this. So if I can enter and I wanted to see without T header, okay, without T header. So let's try that, and what I'll do here, I'll say T body and then T head, TR. So if you can see, if I go one level again inside, then I am getting 100 rows. If I'm going one row again inside it, then I'm getting total 100 rows. Why 100 rows? If you can go back and validate here in the table, previously I was having T head. Within the T head I have one TR, and that TR is nothing but my header. Same way, if I jump within the T body, I do have 100 rows. I do have the 100 rows here. If I can get those 100 rows, then only I need to either get those 100 rows first, either 101 rows first. So I can simply change that, and I said no, I need only those 100 rows. Okay, so I can go back here in my code base. I'll simply write driver dot This time it is a find elements. This time it is a find elements. Why this time it is a find elements? Because I am going to write and get the multiple elements. I am getting a multiple elements. So how do I get that multiple elements? So I'll just simply copy this XPath from here. I'll simply get that XPath. I'll go back here. I'll pass that XPath here. Okay, I'll simply pass that XPath here, and this time I'm going to get this total number of rows from here. Okay, so let's see if that is find elements. Definitely it will return you the list of web element. I am saying the list of web element, and that is my, let's say, rows. I can say that is nothing but my rows. So I'll get the total number of rows here. Now, if I wanted to print how many rows are there, then what can I do? I'll simply go back here. I'll simply write my list dot a size. I'll simply write my list dot size. Once I write my list dot size, I wanted to get the total number of rows from here. So I'll simply execute this test one more time. Let's see if it will give you the total number of rows. If it will give you, or if it will print you the total number of rows, then we'll jump on the total number of columns on that. So let's see. We can go back here. We can go back here, and now I just wanted to see how much it is printing. So if you can see, we'll get the total number of rows, that is 100. Okay, now I'll go back, and now I wanted to identify the total number of columns. Okay, so let me execute this query. Let me clear this previous way, and what I write here again, I can simply write here the total number of columns. So how do I start one more time? So I'll simply print what we were having, but this time what we will do, if we can see the matrix, okay, if we can see the matrix, in the matrix how that happens. So every single row is having a common column, because columns are fixed. That never happens like my row 1 is having 4 and row 2 is having 7 columns. Okay, that is 100% not possible. That is not 100% possible. So that's why what we need to do, either I can take any of this row, I should get, or I will 100% get a proper number of columns, because either first row, second row, third row, or 10th or 100th row, if any of this row if I'll take, I will have always a concrete column numbers. That means every time I'll get the 4 number of columns. So let's try. I am saying for the row 3, for example, I am saying if I wanted to get a specific row, for example, let's go that way first. So if I am going the specific row, what I said, I am going with the row 3. What I said, I am going with the row 3. Once I enter, I'll get the row for the number 3. Okay. So how do I get? So I can get the Tata Motors here. Now if I wanted to print, all the column, for example. Now if I wanted to print all the columns, that I can proceed further. So before that, let me go back and take this. Let me copy again. I can write here driver dot find element by dot XPath, and this is what I am getting the row number 3. Okay, this is how I am getting the row number 3 here. Now let's see. Once I'm getting the row number 3, I am assigning that to a specific web element. That is my specific row. Okay, I'm saying that is my specific row. So row 3. Now anyone wants to answer using this specific row, do you think I am able to identify the total number of columns using this? Do you think this is possible? You can answer it, guys. I'm reading your comments. So if you think, can I use only this spec row, and do you think I'm able to identify the total number of columns using this? Do you think it is possible? Do you think it is possible using the spec row I am able to get the total number of columns? Is it possible here? What do you think, guys? I'll definitely show you the way, because it's very important and the people may ask you such type of questions in interview on the web table. Okay, and these are the regular questions people may ask you. So anything that you are thinking, do you think using only this we are able to get the total number of column? Okay, so people are saying yes, somebody said not possible, yes, okay, so somebody is saying possible. So let's see how using this it is possible. Okay, so I'll show you the very simplest way. How to do that. Okay, so now what I will write, I'll simply using this as a parent. What I'll do, I'll simply using this as a parent. Okay, now once I said this is my parent, I'll write my parent dot a find element. That means I'm saying the parents dot a find elements. How many elements? Using by XPath. I said I wanted to identify using this how many are there rows. I wanted to identify how many are there rows. Okay, so what I write, I simply write this is a find elements. I said XPath and my TD, that means my row. I wanted to identify how many are there particular rows, columns. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll simply store this again as a list. Okay, and then I said this is again my list of web element, and I said columns, for example. Okay, previously it was rows, now this is a columns, and I said let's print the column size. Let's print the column size, and I simply try to run this code and we'll see the output. Let's execute this code base. It should print my column size. Okay, and then we'll go one by one. We'll go one by one as the printing of those column values as well. Okay, so let's go back. So yes, it is done, and let's see. See, the first time I said my web table is ready to test. Then I wanted to print my total number of rows, and once I print my total number of rows, then I'll get my columns. So if I can go back to my site under or application under test, 1, 2, 3, and 4 columns are there. Okay, so there are 4 columns available. There are total 100 rows are available. This is how the people may ask you the questions. Okay, they will ask you the question in this simplest way. This is, I mean, sometimes we are thinking is very simplest way, but we just fail to answer such type of questions in interview. Okay, guys. So now what I said, I simply wanted to write now the new thing, that now the next question in interview, tell me I just wanted to get the value of this current price. I simply said I wanted to get the value of any specific cell. either this cell, either this, either this, either this. I mean, if I am on the row 3, I wanted to get the specific row value using my XPath. This is what the question. People may ask you, how do you get the specific cell value? So let's go back and I'll show you how to get your specific cell value. So what I'll do, so I already written here the code base. So this time I will write here a driver dot find element. Okay, I again write driver dot a find element, and I said by dot XPath. Let's see what happens. So I'll say by dot XPath. I'll just take that XPath from here. Okay, I'll just copy this XPath, and then I said this is my XPath, and after this XPath, what I will do, okay, I just forgot this. Okay, so now this is my table row 3, and I said I want the value of table row 2. I want the value of table row 2. So this is how I simply use row and column, both the combination here. What I use my row and column, both the combinations. Once I use this row and column, I'll again assign that, though it is a web element, single web element, so I assign that to a cell value, and let's see what happened next. So if I can simply try to print that cell val dot get text, for example. So do you think this will print the value of what exactly we are looking for from the row 3 and the column 2? Do you think it is possible? Let's try. Once we execute, again this will go to your row number 3, that is your something data motors, and then it will get the values. So let's try, let's see what happened next. Then I'll show you very interesting how to get a top 5 values. Okay, I'm just wanted to show you that too. Okay, so it is done. We'll go back here. So if you can see, it will print the value of 144.85. This will print the data motors 144.85. Okay, so it is currently printing the value of your TR and TD, and this is how we are getting the values from TR and TD. Now what happened? So after this, I mean, sometimes people may ask you the question, and question will be tell me how to get the top 5 rows. How to get the top 5 rows? Anyone wants to answer on that? Anyone wants to answer? Anyone wants to answer? The next question people may ask you, how to get the top 5 rows. How to get the top 5 rows using the XPath. So because there are multiple rows, but let's say somebody said I just wanted to get the top 5 rows using that XPath. So I wanted to get those top 5 rows, and then I simply wanted to print those. Definitely no, we cannot use the loop for that, because there are no, that is not, we are not going to use a loop there, Mohammed. We are going to identify those using an XPath. So there are different commands also using XPath. Definitely not. No iteration, no loop. You need to get the top 5 rows. You need to get the top 5 rows. I repeat one more time my question. You need to get the top 5 rows. Okay, so that's why what I'm saying, you need to get the top 5 rows, so that you need to just so I'll just close this so that I can show you the XPath, and then we can add that XPath into our code base. So I'll go back here. What I'm saying, currently I have my tr. Now I need the top 5 rows. So I said, okay, so I'll copy this here. Okay, now what I'm saying, I need to go with my top 5 rows. So let's see if I am not using here this 3. Let's see, I am not using this 3 here, and what I'm saying this time, I am saying there is a one function. I am saying there is a one function, and the function name is a position. See what I'm saying? Once I use the position, it is giving me all the position, and what I said, my position should be less than and equals to 5. It's done. See what I'm saying? I am saying my position is less than or equals to 5. Done. Okay. So what I used, a very simple. This is a very simplest way, and people miss this type of ways. Don't worry guys, on the XPath, on this dynamic XPath and the static XPath, I'm going to take one session near about for the 2 hours, so that at least you can understand whole XPath in detail, so that those will help you to crack any interviews if somebody asks you the question in XPath as well. Okay, so don't worry about it. I'll definitely give you best chance to understand XPath in my upcoming sessions. So that is planned already. So this is how we used, and we wanted to see, or somebody wants to, or your interviewer wanted to see, if they ask you the question, I wanted to, out of this whole web table, I just wanted to get the top 5. So how do you get this top 5? So the simplest answer is that you can directly get using your web table. You are using another function. If you can see here, you are using another function. Now let's say I can explore this function more. Let's say I am saying now, and my position one more time. Okay, so now this time I am again changing this. My position start with, for example, anything you can use, any other function. Again, my position is a greater than 1. So if you can see, I need top 5, but it should be greater than 1. That means if you can see, this time I'll get only 4. This time I'll get only 4. Okay. Why this time 4? The reason behind is, I am saying I need total 5 results, but always that starts with 1. So it is greater than 1. I am talking about here, it is greater than 1. So once I am talking about it's greater than 1, what happened? I'll get a specific number of rows. Okay, so I am getting specific number of rows here. Okay, so once I used a specific number of rows, then I can use the same within my XPath. I can go back, I can just copy this, I can simply copy this, I can write here somewhere in my XPath again, like driver dot, this time again, sorry, so find elements and by dot XPath, and I said this is my XPath. What this XPath will return? This XPath will return me again the list of rows. This will return me the list of, I can say simple list of position, for example. Okay, so I simply said list of position. I am getting here list of position. That means again I am getting the list, and the same way then I can simply write, if you wanted to print all those row value, you can simply write here, again you can write your index as a dynamic, like I can write my for each web element from list till the list of web or list of position. I said this is my list, and from the list of position. So let me write here, okay, yes. Now what? if I can get this, I can dynamically also print the value. I can dynamically also print the value. I simply write here again list dot find element, and then I can write by dot XPath, and I simply write here the XPath can be a static, that means this, and then I can write here any of this value, that is list of index or whatever value that I can manage that here then, or I can simply write within this. So every time if you wanted to go with every individual element, I can simply say td. So I can get that web element and I simply write that get text. That is also possible. And I can get this within my sysout, still it is possible. I simply write in this way, so that I can simply print my every individual list or every individual cell value for the every individual row that I am identifying. Okay, so every individual row that I am identifying, I am just finding that, and then I can just print that it's a row or the cell value. Okay, now very important that I said I am going to jump on now the JavaScript implementation. So let me go back and I'll show you one site here. If you can see, this is the datatables.net, and if you can see, this is the JavaScript implementation. Okay, this is my plain JS implementation of the data table, that is cdn.datatable. You can use that jQuery. Okay, this is a jQuery and the JS, both that implementation, where you can see there is a huge implementation of this web table. Now what I will do, this JavaScript implementation sometimes we found a very difficult to identify. Okay, and most of the time people are getting fail to do the automation of such sites where we use a JS or jQuery, we said. Okay, JS or jQuery. Okay, now I can simply start a new a method. Let me go back. I have done that method. So this is my Redif. Now I'll start with the new method this time. Okay, so I simply, here it is end, so I'm ending this method. Let me go back, public void static and void, and this time I said it's a dynamic JS table. Okay, so guys, if you need this code base, do let me know so that I can share that code base also. That's not an issue for me. I'm so sorry, today I'm facing some throat infection. Okay, so anyone is required this code base, just do let me know so that we can share. I'll share this with the support team, and they'll just get back to you, or they will just provide you that code base. Okay, so don't hesitate to ask such code base or any help that you require. Please do not hesitate. You will get all the helps, anything that you need from our side. Okay, now I'll copy that code base one more time from here. I'll just get till the gate and going back here, and what is the URL? I'll simply copy this URL so that I can complete my code base. Okay, so first I need to identify the web table. Let's go back and try to inspect that table. Once I try to inspect that table, if you can see here, yes, there is a table. Can you see there is the table? Again, if you can see, there is a table with ID example. Okay, I can see there is a table with ID example, and that is your jQuery or implemented table. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll go back with this table, I'll get all the rows, I'll get all the information, and then I'll start the further information. Okay, or further coding. So let's go back. I said it's a by ID example. I'm going back here. I'll say driver dot find element, this time by dot id, and this time there is an id available. I said it's a example. So this time if id and name is available, then no need to use your XPath. Okay, very simple. If id and is available, no need to use an XPath. I said this time is displayed. Okay, and if that is true, I said if driver.find element, I'm writing bit in shorter way, no need to assign to any of the web element. That's why I'm writing in bit shorter way so that you can go inside and then you can start working. Okay. Now, once I get that, again, if you can see here, there are three things. I have the T head. Okay, see, very interesting this time, guys. There is additional tag this time. Okay, there is additional tag this time. The first, the first tab, if you can see, the first tag is T head. This T head is nothing but the head information or my column information, column headers. Okay, which we discussed sometimes back. Now, if you can see the T body, which is every time, I mean, we are getting all this body, but this time the new area or new tag is T foot. If you can see here, there is a T foot. What happened in the T foot? If you can see, there is a T foot. In the T foot, I can see there is a footer information also. Okay, there is a footer information also, because sometimes what happened, people may go down and they will not identify, not seen these headers. So that's why nowadays people are giving the implementation like this way as well, so that any, like if I can go at the 25 lines down or 100 lines down, still I came to know, okay, my this column is of name, this column is of position, this column is office and age and start date likewise. Okay, again, what I need, I'm not worried about any other areas this time. Still, I'm just wanted to get the total number of rows. So again, what I will do, I will write here my $x, and I said, uh, let's say I can write my x path here. I can say what is x path this time. So I can say @id equals, it's an example. Okay, I get that, and then I said my T body again. Okay, so I got one T body. Again, I am saying tr. See what happened. So this time I am getting here 10 rows. This time, because what is happening, I am handling here a 10, because this time I am handling here 10. If I can select that 100, then that goes to the 100. That goes to the 100 lines. If I can select 25, then that goes to the 25. Okay, so currently it is 10, so I want to see how many rows. So why I'm showing you this, because these are the dynamic web tables, because these tables are the dynamic web table. Okay, now once this is a dynamic web table, in the dynamic web table, what happened always, the data or the web table values, your rows and columns are always change. Okay, so your rows and columns are always changed. So I'll go back in my code base, I'll simply copy this XPath from here. Let's see what happened. I want to show you the dynamic ways too. So I'll write here driver dot find elements by dot XPath, and I said this is my XPath expressions, and I'm done. I said these are my list of a web element, and this is my, for example, again, rows. Okay, these are my rows. So I said I'm going to get these rows. Now let's try and print its value this time. Okay, I said my rows dot size. Okay, I'm printing my rows dot size here. So let's this time call this function, I'm calling dynamic JS table. Okay, the previous one I've just I just make it commented, and I just copy the next code base. Okay, okay, just let me check. And now what happened, it should give me, it should open that web table, that data tables. Okay, so and it should print you the total number of rows. So if you can see, we are getting this 10 rows. Okay, now very important, now we wanted to see my same code base, the same line. The same line should work even though if I can select here 25. Okay, so I can first identify what exactly this element is, and I change that value. Let me see what is this element. Okay, this is in a select tag. So let's go back. I can simply copy this by name. So I can write here driver dot find element by dot name, and the name value is, okay, so sorry, where it goes, so name value is this, okay, and this is my I can say what is web element, I can say this is my entries, okay, for example these are my entries. So if I can see my entries is holding a web element. Now what select, if you saw my previous video, it says select new and then select. What is select? It is asking you for the web element. I have the entries, so I'm giving that entries. And then I'm saying select by visible text, and what I can see there, I can see the 25. Okay, I can see there the value 25. Let me see one more time in the option. If you can see, I can see the value what is visible to me. I can see this 25 is visible to me. Select by value also, if I do same way, the 25, 50 and 100. Now once that 25, I simply copy this code from here, okay, because I'm copying only this code, the same code from here. This time why I'm copying the same code, reason behind that rows is already defined, so that's why I'm just reassigning the value and just wanted to print. So first time it should print 10, and second time once I select 25 it should print 25. That is what my expectation, so that my same code should work for both the value. Even though if I can take 100, it should work for the 100. Let me go back here and execute this code base so that I can see and I can confirm my output. I wanted to see if that works. Okay, now it's executing. Yes. Okay, so it selected 25 and now I wanted to go back. Yes, can you see here? So previously it was printing your 10, and then second time it was printing, okay, the second time it was printing it's 25. Okay guys, so if you can see, first time it was printing 10, which is correct, and second time once I select from the entries drop down a value 25, it is going to select that 25 here. That means it is printing me the 25 here. Okay, now very interesting, the next question people may ask you, I'll go back here. Now this is very dynamic, okay, dynamic web table. Okay, you can do so many things here. You can do the pagination test, you can do the forward and negative, then you can see this label values, you can see or search something here, and then you can validate. All those operations we can do, but there is a time constraint for us. That's why I cannot go more in detail about those. Like if I wanted to search here the person name, if you can see, I search the person name and then I wanted to validate, there should be only one name. And if I can click on that, then I can get more detail. All those things, all those web element operations, you can do it on this website. Okay, that's very easy for you to do. Okay, now what I wanted to show you is very important. Let me clear this so that I can get the information. Okay, now what happened in the interview, people may ask you the question. Okay, and again this is question from my side too for you guys, so I'll just give you the hint. Okay, now I have total number of 10 rows here. Okay, I have total number of 10 rows here. Now if I'll get all total rows and their age. Okay, so let me go back with your first of all I'll just show you something, then only we can go with this. Okay, then only we can go with this. So let me write our code base here. Let's say I can get tr, and then I said my td of 4, for example. So I can get the 4 values or 10 values. Okay, so let me go back this 10 values. I'll show you one by one the problem statement, and then you can solve that problem by your own. So what happened, I'll simply said I wanted to get all the total number of columns, but only single columns. Okay, I said by dot XPath, and my XPath is this. Okay, I copy. Okay, so this is my XPath. What happened? This is my total. Which one is that? I guess that is age. I said this is my least of a web element, and I said people age, people ages, for example. Okay, so this is my people ages. Now what I wanted to print each one of their age. I wanted to print each one of their age. So I simply said for web element people age from the list of people ages, for example. Okay, if I can go back here and I say simply let me print that people age dot get text, and I just wanted to see if it should print all the values. Then I'll go with one of my very interesting question and interview question. So let's go back and we'll see if that will print all of people's their age. Okay, and then we can see the final output. Let's see. Okay, okay, it is selecting 25, and then okay, so definitely it should print all the ages. See here, okay, all 25 people's age it will print here. After 25, it will print all 25 people's age. Okay, so if I can go back here and I can validate 33, 47, 66, so we'll at least three values I can simply check. 33, 47, 66, yes, correct. So we will get all these 25 ages here. Now the question in interview is, I wanted to get the maximum age out of this. I wanted to get a maximum age out of this. So anyone wants to answer, how do we get the maximum age out of this? Same way what I said, I wanted to get the top 5 rows. So I show you the position is one of the attributes that we passed in the XPath. Same way I repeat my question. This time I wanted to get the maximum age of any of this person, because there are 25 peoples and out of those 25 somebody is very higher age. Let's say this person is a 66 age. So I wanted to get this 66 age out of this. Anyone wants to answer how it is possible? Anyone wants to answer how it is possible? So there is a multiple way also, okay, but I would suggest you, this is one of the assignment for you. I mean, I can suggest you can use max function for your XPath. You can use your collections dot max as well. You can use any of these things, okay, which is possible. You can use collections dot max. You can use your max. It's all up to you, but you need to get only a one value which is maximum out of all this data, okay, which is maximum out of all this data. So this is one of the assignment for you guys. You will get these assignments over email as well. You just paste your email ID on this video comment, and then you will get that. Support team will reach out to you. Now what I'll do, I'll just stop it here based on our time. So it is going a bit longer today. Now what I'll suggest you guys, you can just if you like the video, just like this video, and if you dislike, then dislike this video. Again, another thing is, if you wanted to have this code base, just give your comment or your email ID in the comment box, and then our support team will reach out to you and send you the code base along with your assignments too. Thank you so much for joining today, guys. Have a good night. We'll meet again on Thursday. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.